Hi, I'm Dana Bryant, co-founder of Crossing the Jordan Academy, and I just wanted to check in with our supporters and our partners and our community and update you on what's going on over here at Crossing the Jordan Academy. As most small businesses, our industries, our stores have been shut down due to the coronavirus. We empathize with all other business owners. We understand this is difficult on all of us. So we're in it together. As far as the Academy is concerned, we have 110 residents, including children, those that were drug addicted and formerly homeless, and sex trafficked and domestic violence victims. They are in our care. So our curriculum must go on. As many of you can imagine, those that struggle with addiction or depression, idle time is not good for those that are trying or actually beating their addiction. So our curriculum to stay intact has been very important. We have also put in place many things to social distance, to make sure we're keeping our residents safe and sanitized, and doing everything we can to balance the need for serving those that are struggling and also keeping our community safe. It's a difficult balance some days. With that said, I have two very quick requests. So just hang in there with me. Number one is if you have unwanted goods, if you've cleaned out your closet or your garage or your home, you just set them aside, and when we open back up, you consider donating those unwanted goods to Crossing the Jordan. Number two, okay, we have a current crisis, and right now we have 12,000 deaths, and we take those very seriously. In no way are we minimizing our current crisis. It's touched us all economically. We're a small business that funds our mission, so we're in it with you. Or our health. We're finding out that we know more and more people touched by this. And we also have another crisis. Now, disclaimer, I am not making one more important than the other. But the reality is that drug overdoses were 69,000 last year. And on social media and in the mass media, more and more people are talking about domestic violence is on the rise and drug addiction. We can all really common sense dictates that depression and drug addiction, alcoholism are on the rise. So Crossing the Jordan has put together a 15-minute documentary. We address addiction, maybe a little controversial. The documentary has crime story woven in, and it's well produced. We just invite you to take a look at it. We invite you to examine your heart. We're pretty sure you're going to be touched by the story, and it's a great time to just check us out, see who we are and why we do what we do and how we produce the results that we do. So this is an invitation. We're in this together. We're thankful for our community. We care about our community. We're hopeful for a great comeback for all of us. So God bless you, and thank you so much for your time.
There's a time in all of our lives that we struggle with the person we see in the mirror. It's what we do with the pain we see that determines our direction. For some of us, the heartache seems too much to bear. As children, we're resilient, filled with hope, despite the abuse we've endured. As our families are broken apart, it's hard to understand what's happening inside. The anger becomes rage, spilling out of us like poison. No little girl dreams of growing up to give herself away or sell a part of herself she believes she can never get back. Her innocence was taken, and nothing seemed to matter the moment it was gone. We just lose our way, drowning ourselves in a sea of regret and shame. Alone, ashamed, abandoned, we fall away, deep into despair. We become prisoners of our own stories, It takes us places we thought we'd never go. We didn't start out this way. The rejection, the isolation, the broken heart. We go where we feel we belong because we crave connection, and we will take it where we can find it. We compromise ourselves. We misunderstand love. So we take what we believe we're worth. In time, we allow what we once told ourselves we never would. Our children watch. The cycle begins. We make decisions in the midst of our deepest sorrow, never believing in that moment we will lose everything that mattered most to us. Addiction, abuse, crime. These were our stories. We own them. Why? Because our stories hold great power. If we own them, they do not own us. Now let me tell you a new story, a love story. Because it's not how you start that matters. It's how you finish. That's my husband, Michael Bryant, and I right there. I spent most of my 20s in federal prison for 9 armed bank robberies. Michael spent 9 years in some of America's toughest prisons. Quite a couple, I know. It's difficult to share the truth of who we were because it's not who we are today. We decided to let our mess be our message because who we were is why we do what we do. Michael and I have both spent many years inside of prisons and programs and on parole, and we clearly saw what wasn't working. In 1999, inside of a prison cell, I was given a vision for Crossing the Jordan Academy. This place, it would give ex-cons and prostitutes and addicts and homeless and the abused a chance for total life change, but not the way the system was doing it. You see, I knew my pain had purpose. When I met Michael, he believed in me, in the vision, and in people. His pain had purpose too. That's when this all began. We got married, and then with only $500, we opened that thrift store right there. That first store is in a very rough area where addicts and prostitutes frequent. It was perfect. A light in the darkness. Now we had a store, but no product. At 6 a.m. every morning, Michael and I and our 3- and 5-year-old youngest children of 5, we put door knockers asking people to donate items to a store that wasn't open yet for a place that we were still believing for. We were so nervous the first time we went to pick up. We would get weary along the way, and that day we just needed a sign we were headed in the right direction. So as a family, we sat in the truck and prayed, God, please show us if we're doing what you want us to do. That day, it changed our family forever. As far as the eye could see, street after street, bags in front of every single house. Those neighbors, they believed. We had no racks to hang the clothes that were donated, and Friedman Brothers believed. They helped us get the material to build our own racks and shelves and counters. We needed paint and more supplies. Kelly Moore believed. And many more businesses and people just started believing. It's crazy to think all this started in that store. Michael and I and the kids just loving on the unlovable. It has to start with love. People need to know you care before they care about what you know. Crossing the Jordan Academy is a full immersion experience where you train for life and business. We don't care where our students have been. We only care about where they want to go. In our modern culture, we seem to agree that we become who we tell ourselves we are. With that in mind, why as a society are we so committed to the theory that addicts have an incurable disease? It's a death sentence. Most importantly, that theory, it demands dependency and breeds hopelessness, and we're better than that. At Crossing the Jordan, we don't allow what has happened to us to be an excuse for anything. We take extreme ownership of our actions, and this is where transformation begins. Did you know that America's all-in cost for addiction is $1 trillion per year? That's 17% of all government spending, all of our tax-paying dollars, and the problem is getting worse. Michael and I knew this was at the heart of the problem. An untrained mind, when in survival, will take the easy road, the handout. The problem is we don't grow this way and we find ourselves back to where we started. We need to earn while we learn. We know that by assuming total responsibility for our choices meant that we had to be all in for our own life change, not expecting others or the government to pay for it. We created industries, a social enterprise, and we do not rely on one government dollar to fund our mission. We funded our first residential home for the Academy within 5 months of opening that first store. Today, well, we have 6 retail locations, a moving company, a tree care service, a massive recycling operation, and many more industries, funding over 110 residents with their children, and we're only getting started. That's our corporate offices right there and our training facility. We've come a long way. 85% success rate among graduates. That is crazy good. Why? Because we went back to the basics. We believe in honoring our country, the flag, the fallen soldiers, and the men and women in blue who have given their lives for our freedom. We understand that dignity comes from an honest day's work, and serving our community is our duty. And most of all, unapologetically, God is our refuge. In America, it is easy to become entitled, ungrateful, feeling owed somehow. We knew that if we served children in Africa on a mission, our students would get a new perspective and their problems wouldn't seem so big. Today, we serve hundreds of children in Nairobi, Africa, where we have taken over full operations of a children's village. Michael created an experiential training called Intrepid. Together, we train our students to push past their limited beliefs, to release the pain of their pasts, develop mental toughness, which is possible despite the trauma many of us have endured, and have courage in the face of fear. We have raised the bar and we are elite training for life change. And oh, lives are being changed. Laura, she is free to smile again. Bryant and Jonathan have never gone back to prison. Bryant, he is in school to become a chef. Sonia, she's reunited with her 3 children, whole and healed. Leah, she works at the academy as most grads do, and we were all there to watch her walk down the aisle. Justin, he's quite a joker today, literally on this day, as he found the courage to go after his acting career and just shot his first commercial. Luis, that's our son-in-law and our oldest daughter. Because of where we'd been, we knew how to support him into his new life with our grandchildren. Christian, fatherhood is his greatest joy, and family is what matters most to him now. Victoria came here broken-hearted, abused, and rejected, and committed to breaking the cycle for her girls and finally fulfill her dream of becoming a dental assistant. She's getting married to that amazing guy right there. Jessica, there is nothing like the pain of losing your child because of your addiction. Well, most mothers, they never recover from that. Not Jessica. She never gave up on her son or the possibility of being loved and honored. Jessica and Bjorn, they are reunited. There are so many more stories. Miracles happen here every day. Our mission is to change the way we approach addiction and homelessness and crime. We're not victims. We do not have an incurable disease. We are a movement of people committed to our tribe, and we intend to change the world, one soul at a time. We've taken our lives back. We are free.